you guys? My name is Rage and we're back today with another Dark Dimension 4 video now, starting the next stage being the city nodes. And my goodness, it has taken me quite a while actually. If you guys recall, we started this journey at 516 days and it's been pretty much over about a month just accumulating in alien spores, really just trying to build up that arsenal to get the symbiotes ready to go. But excited to talk to you guys and show you guys now the next stage of my gameplay here. So let's go ahead and talk about my characters overall, and then we'll dive right into the gameplay. So first and foremost, unlike many players, I know some players starting out that were trying to rush through did opt to use either Night Nurse or Punisher, and just based on everyone's feedback, I really wanted to start off with a bang. So absolutely, if I can get my hands on 4 symbiote characters, you bet that was the game plan, and I encourage this for you guys as well. But my goodness, it took a lot of time to just wait for the spores, refresh, and what really helped was that event where we actually were able to get an extra 15 spores. So that really was the final kicker for me. So as you can see here, this is the 4 that I'm planning to bring on. You'll see that a lot of players mention that Carnage is really the odd man out, even though he was heavily utilized in Dark Dimension 3, but just given his abilities not really being able to actually be fully utilized in Dark Dimension 4's health pools, that's why he's left out. But for sure, you bet once I finish Dark Dimension 4, I'm likely going to invest those biogear materials into Carnage, so that way I can use a full symbiote roster for the second run. So let's go ahead and just quickly show you guys what I've upgraded here. I got Venom tier 15. As you can see, the level 3 Striker, T4s on both his special as well as his passive. Next, we got Symbiote Spider-Man, a common favorite among everybody, and almost all of his abilities are T4 with the exception of his special. And as you can see, a level 5 Isolate Raider on him. But you know what, I am likely going to actually change this to the Skirmisher once I get to the Node 12, just due to the fact that it's been mentioned numerous times that by having that Skirmisher, he's going to get an additional increase to his focus, and therefore allowing him to actually land his ultimate on Emma Frost. Next, we got Anti-Venom here, and all of his abilities are actually maxed out just to ensure the potency of his abilities, and as well the level 4 Striker to really allow that extra additional damage and healing. And then last but not least for Scream, she is going to be new to the Dark Dimension world for me personally, just because I never actually used her in Dark Dimension 3. So it's going to be very exciting to see how she utilizes her abilities and really kind of synergize with the symbiotes in this late game stage. And as you can see, for T4s, I got both her special and as well as her ultimate. So that being said, you guys, that is the 4 characters right there. Let's dive right in now to the gameplay. And in case you guys don't know, what I've actually done is I've saved this team as a preset, my Blitz team, so that way you can separate the center, as you can see there. And you can see with that, I have Anti-Venom as well as a Scream being on opposite corners, just because in my opinion, Scream's the squishiest and Anti-Venom's the most important because he can revive. So that's why I have the placement as the way it is. That being said, you guys, I do need to highlight once again, referencing Dutch Redder's Dark Dimension 4 guide. That is the guide I'm using here in terms of gaining a sense of which enemies to attack, the ones we should prioritize, and the waves and when the characters actually do come following each wave. So starting off here, we're going to get a mixture of Proxima Midnight, Mordo, as you can see, another hand archer, one hand archer that actually repeats her special, as well as a Nobu. So I mean, the really big thing for this one is just keeping control of these guys. Mordo, he's the one that has the stun and whatnot, so we want to make sure we get going with the symbiotes here, applying those negative conditions, and then by using Anti-Venom's ultimate, as you can see, we gain all those benefits, including the defense up. So that's really going to be important for the first initial step here. But the key targets for us will definitely be the stunners, such as Proxima Midnight, Mordo, and then as well the hand archer that actually can repeat the attack. So I mean, those are my personal opinion, the 3 we should target. And you're gonna see with these minions, fortunately they're not actually that tanky. They're very, very reasonable in my opinion. So you're gonna see that we're able to actually stun and be able to slow them down. And the nice thing about this wave is the fact that there's not going to be any surprises. We can actually go ahead and clear this entire wave before the next wave spawns. So, you see there, I do actually ability block Proxima Midnight just to, again, we want to mitigate damage as much as possible. You can even combine that by using now Symbiote Spider-Man special here, where he can extend negative conditions. And again, I'm just focusing Mordo. Looking back, maybe I should have actually used that on Proxima Midnight to extend that turn, but I really was just focused on just finishing off Mordo because of the fact that he's already weak. And again, I love Scream being utilized in Dark Dimension now because her ultimate also reduces the speed meter. So just try to use that if you see any enemies coming up where they have a turn potentially, and you want to slow them down and make sure they don't get their turn before we do. And really at this point, we're just trying to do as much damage as we can, taking out the crowd controllers such as Proxima Midnight and Mortal. And when you take them down, you know, it's pretty smooth sailing. We're basically just up against a hand crew here with Corvus Glaive. So I mean, honestly, not a big deal. In my personal opinion, this is definitely one of the easier ways to start. It's very consistent with Dark Dimension 3, where the initial city notes are very, very straightforward. You'll see later on in my other videos that node 12 is the one that's going to be quite lengthy to get through, as you'll see by the many attacks. These initial notes 10 and 11 are very, very straightforward. I think it's just more about managing waves and making sure you're aware of which characters are coming following each wave. And there you go. Nobu is the last one to go here, and when it's just down to these three, honestly, really straightforward. Just focus your damage, because again, it's good to just build up those negative conditions on the one target. You know, that's definitely a specialty of the symbiote, so you definitely always want to take full advantage of that. Just the way the damage kind of went down, I did actually leave Corvus Glaive here, as you can see, for last. Spawning the next wave now, with consisting of a shield security, Squirrel Girl, a Black Widow that can actually repeat her special, as well as Miles, Quake, and then a Chavez that also can repeat her special and her ultimate. So a couple of key targets we got to be wary of, but you know, I'm always never a big fan of Black Widow just because she's got that speed up, very, very useful for her team, and she's also got a stun, but fortunately she is only actually focused on using her special, so that does work in our favor here. So I did start this battle by stunning Squirrel Girl. Now you see I have also ability block Black Widow. Both two characters that are very important for this wave, and we want to just shut them down, because keep in mind, if you have any negative conditions, you know, Squirrel Girl is the one that can cleanse, right? So I did actually stun her and extended it thanks to Symbiote Spider-Man. And keep in mind as well, you guys, unlike the last wave where we were able to clear everything, with this wave actually we're only able to take down 2 characters, and then it's going to spawn actually another wave of Proxima, Karnak, as well as Crystal. Pretty much a mini Inhumans cluster. So that is why you want to be very, very focused on which 2 characters you take down, and that's going to be able to set the pace for the next wave, especially with 3 more characters dropping. So just how my strikes went down, you can see Squirrel Girl does end up being the first character in this wave to go down. And that also means that the next likely one is going to be Black Widow once she gets out of her invisibility. So again, have a game plan and be ready, because that's going to be very key. Again, take advantage of Anti-Venom's ultimate, just being able to leverage all those negative conditions to our benefit to become buffs. At this point, unfortunately, I did recognize that, you know, shield security is getting quite weak, and Black Widow was still stealth. So, I mean, I kind of just gave up at that point. However, you can see that I actually staved my son now to actually be utilized for this Proxima Midnight, so she's not going to be slowing us down, you know. So make sure you guys are ready to go if that wave does spawn on you unexpectedly. But we knew it coming, just having done our research and anticipating the wave drop. And now we actually have all our abilities ready to go here. So even the ability block, if the stun didn't land on Proxima Midnight, we have that now to be utilized as well.
And then for this wave, really just kind of focus on cleaning up. Maybe taking down whoever's weakest, such as Chavez in the corner there, as you can see. But really keep in mind, there's only 7 characters now left, which is this entire wave, and it's very straightforward. Proxima Midnight's obviously a priority just because she has the stun and the offense down. But as well, just focus on any of the characters that are weaker. As you can see, Black Widow is pretty much on the brink of death as well. But time it so that if you see any notable attackers, such as Proxima Midnight, you can see I used the ability block her as well. That way she can't slow us down. And again, combine that as well with Symbiote Spider-Man's special there that extends negative conditions. You can see I just wanted to take down Black Widow, making sure that she doesn't use her speed up again. Now we'll go ahead, finally get a chance to actually finish off Proxima Midnight there. 5 characters remaining, as you can see. And again, as I mentioned earlier, just highlighting the fact that if there's weaker characters now in this initial wave, we can start cleaning up here, finishing off characters such as Chavez. And just to illustrate again to you guys, you know, when it comes down to the last 2 or 3 characters, that's really when I would take a pause and start slowing down, you know, not really use your abilities, because again, we're going to be needing their full powers for the next node. So you always want to be mindful of saving up energy, such as, you know, Symbiote Spider-Man's stun, his special, Anti-Venom's ultimate especially, to take advantage of the defense up and flipping those negatives to our advantage. Now I did leave actually Crystal and Karnak for the very end, just that's just the way the damage kind of rolled out. But again, you can see me now just slowly taking my time here and only using basics. Once again, saving up energy for the next node, and it's quite fine because our symbiotes are so powerful, just chaining all those bleeds together. As you can see, we got the defense down, so just a really unbelievable team that it's nice that we can actually fully utilize them for Dark Dimension. I know they're useful in raids as well, but it's great that we have such a end game, late game team that can also be utilized in different game modes. So as you guys can see here, we're gonna wrap up. And that is actually, in fact, a one-shot attempt here. First time being the Node 10. And this is definitely very similar to Dark Dimension 3. So I appreciate the fact that when they designed this game mode is similar. But you guys are going to see later on in Node 12, as I touched on, that it's definitely a different game altogether. And that those nodes, it's definitely going to be frustrating. But once again, as per my videos, you guys can see here, one attack, 10.83 million to start things off in the city nodes. And as per usual, you guys, you know, the achievement days, as I touched on earlier, did take a little bit of time to save up and build up for the alien spores, but I'm just glad that we finally got it done now. 549 days, you know, that's games played. As always, do appreciate you guys checking out my videos, and I'll see you in the next one.